Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to talk about predicates, referring expressions, and universe of discourse. We have already talked about referring expressions. That referring expressions are those words which have a referent, and the words which are not referring expressions, they are the predicates in a sentence. Let's see what more we have to talk about. We explore the distinction and the relationship between the referring expression and predicate. Okay, let's see. Can we say that some expression are almost always referring expression, and it has nothing to do that in which sentence they are occurring? For example, if we have the proper noun in a sentence like Muhammad Ali, so can Muhammad Ali be a predicator? Can the proper name Muhammad Ali ever be used as a predicator of a sentence? The answer is no. The proper noun cannot be the predicator. It is always a referring expression because whenever we are going to take the name of Muhammad Ali, we are actually having a referent in mind. Look at the second example. The name Cairo. Cairo cannot be used as a predicator because it is a proper noun. And we cannot, whenever we are going to talk about Cairo, we have a specific referent in mind. So it cannot be used as a predicator because again it is a proper noun. So we have to be very, very clear that proper nouns cannot be the predicators. Acha. The third option is in general, can proper names ever be used as predicators? No, proper names cannot be used as predicate. Can verb hit ever be used as a referring expression? Hit as a verb. How can we use it as a predicator? How can we use it as a referring expression? There is no way. Okay? We can use it as a predicator, but we cannot use it as a referring expression because whenever we utter a verb, so verb does not have a referent. All right? It is an action. It's the name of the action. So how could we say that it is a referring expression? It is not. Can preposition be used as a referring expression? No, preposition cannot be used as a referring expression. In general, can any verb or preposition be used as a referring expression? No, they cannot be used as a referring expression. There are some phrases, in particular indefinite noun phrases, that can be used in two ways. Okay? How? Let's see in the example. When we are having a sentence, the sentence like John attacked the man. Okay? So here, a man is a referring expression. I think that if we are stating that John attacked the man, in this case, a man is there in our mind, so it is going to be considered as referring expression because we have a particular man in mind. Okay, look at the second example. If we say John is a man, so are we talking about any particular man? No, we are just telling the quality of John. So it's not the referring expression. So in the first go, in the first sentence, John attacked the man is a referring expression because we have a referent in mind. But in the second example, John is a man, it is not considered as a referring expression because here man is used as a quality. Now look at the practice. Can the referent of the pronoun I be uniquely identified when this pronoun is uttered? Yes, it can be uniquely identified because I is only used by the speaker. So we know that who is speaking if we are into a conversation. So I is a referring expression. Can the referent of the pronoun you be uniquely identified when this pronoun is uttered? Yes, in utterance, we can identify whom the speaker is talking to. So it is also identifiable. Imagine again the situation where you and I in a room with a man and a woman. And I say to you, making no visual gesture, she stole my wallet. Would you be able to identify the referent of she? Yes, you will be able to identify it because there is no other person in the room. And Whenever we are talking like this, we have a complete referent in mind. That's why we are going to consider it as a referring expression. Now we are going to introduce another notion, another rule, another principle, which we call the principle of generic sentences. The word generic is coming from the word general. When we are generalizing, when we are not talking about anything specific, but we are generalizing the things. So here we are going to look at the sentences, whether they are containing subject with reference to expression or a predicate. Okay? For example, in this sentence, the whale is the largest mammal. The whale is the largest mammal. Are we talking about any particular whale, or are we talking about the whole community of whale into it? Let me repeat the sentence. The whale is the largest mammal. Okay. So I think that we are not talking about any particular whale. Here we are using the in front of whale to represent the whole community of of whales. It means that all the whales are mammals. So here we can say that this is a generic sentence because it is generalizing. So is the whale here a referring expression? No, it is not a referring expression because we are generalizing and we are representing the whole community of whales. The whale is the largest mammal. Does the largest mammal refer to some particular mammal? No, we are not referring to any particular mammal. We are generally talking about mammals. So answer is no. So are there any referring expression in the whale is the largest mammal? No, there are not no referring expressions because these are all generic sentences. Look at the definition. A generic sentence is a sentence in which some statement is made about a whole unrestricted class of individuals as opposed to any particular individual. It means whenever we are going to use any particular article, for example, the article, even if we are using the article, but after using the article, if we are using the whole community, it means that we are not talking about any particular whale, but we are talking about the whole community of whale. Okay? So whenever we are talking about the whole community, it will be considered as a generic sentence. Look at the example. The whale is mammal, understood in the most usual way that it is a generic sentence because here we are talking about here we are talking about that we are talking about all the community of whales. Acha. If instead of saying the whale, if I'll tell you that whale over there, I will pinpoint. Okay? I will use the pointer word. What is the pointer word here? That and there. If I'm pointing towards a particular whale, that whale over there, I'm pointing towards it. So it will not be a generic sentence. That means I'm going to talk about something particular. So it is not generic, but it is particular and we are pinpointing towards it. Acha, shall we go on some practice? Gentlemen prefer blondes. Is it a generic sentence? Are we talking about any specific one or are we talking about generally? What do you think? What do you suggest? This is generic sentence because we are using gentleman as a plural and we are using blondes as a plural. It means we are generalizing it. Jasper is a witch. So Jasper is a proper noun. So we are going to call it as a non-generic sentence. Jasper is a twit is a non-generic sentence because Jasper is a proper noun. The male of the species guards the egg. Okay, in this sentence, are we talking about any particular one male or are we just generalizing it that all the males in all the species they guards the egg? Okay, so because we are generalizing, so this is generic sentence. A wasp makes its nest in a hole in a tree. Are we talking about any particular wasp or are we talking about all the wasps? Okay, though we are using article a here, it means one, but we are generalizing it. This is the generalized quality. So this is generic context. Look at the number 5. A wasp just stung me on the neck. So, are we talking about any particular vest which stung me on the neck? Yes, we are talking about any particular vest. So, this is not generic sentence. This is a particular sentence. The new concept which we are going to discuss after revising our generic sentence concept is the concept of universe of discourse. What is this concept? Discourse means conversation. Discourse means that conversation can be written, it can also be oral, we can talk about it, or we can write about. Understand it that when we are talking about discourse, we are having exchange of ideas and we are having thoughts, either they are repeated thoughts or either they are the new thoughts which we are trying to discuss with each other. What is the first word? The first word is universe. Okay, generally speaking, whenever we are using the word universe, what do we mean? Universe is vast, universe is huge. In universe, there are so many things. Okay? So whenever we are talking about universe of discourse, it means that we are saying that when we are talking, so we are not just simply uttering the words or the phrases or the sentences, but there is a whole universe of thoughts, ideas, opinions at the back of our mind. Because of their presence, when we are starting a discourse, when we are giving our point of view, when we are sharing our point of view, so we have a lot of information at the back of our mind. Okay? So this is human tendency that we can talk about the things which are not present in front of our eyes. We can talk about them in their absence. We can talk about past. We can talk about future. We can talk about present. And we can also create the imaginary world which do not exist and we can even talk about it. You might have seen a lot of programs on TV. They are talking about ghost appearances. They are showing the movies and the dramas in which they are talking about the things which do not exist, like fairies, like we have Cinderella stories, like we have the magic wand, like we have the stories like Harry Potter. So they take us into the world which does not exist in reality. ठीक है? So language has the power to talk about such a world which even does not exist and we can talk about it. Now I'll take you to another aspect of language. Most of the time we are discussing and we are talking about ideas and philosophies and concepts. Do they exist in the form of physical form? They do not. Still, we can discuss it. Still, we can talk about it. This is the power of the language. This is the power of the conversation, discourse that we can discuss. Not only we can discuss, but we can also understand, and we can also help the other people also understand the same thing by the power of discourse. Okay? Keeping this background in mind, okay, now I'll tell you that how the bedtime stories of the childhood, when our mothers used to tell us about the dragon who set fire in the wood, okay, so how that children consider it as something real because they believe that whatever is said, whatever is created through language is reality. So they start believing into it, they start imagining it. Okay, so this way we are going to start our practice. In the first practice, we have news reader on April 14, 1981. Okay, if that person is saying the American space shuttle successfully landed at Edwards Air Force Base, California today, so would you consider that it's a real world or it's a fictitious world? So what do you consider? It's a real world, but it happened. Okay, when mother said, don't touch those berries, they might be poisonous. So do you think it is real world or fictitious world? I think some berries can be poisonous, so it is a real world. When mother said to the child, Santa Claus might bring you a toy telephone. Does it happen in reality? No, it doesn't happen in reality. It's just a fantasy for the children. So it is from the fictitious world. Patient in the psychiatry ward. As your emperor, I command you to defeat the Corinthians. What do you think? Is it real? No, it is not real because it's a patient who's talking. So it's a fictitious word. When doctor said to patient, you cannot expect to live longer than another 2 months, it could be real word. Okay? Because if patient is serious, so no doctor can crack a joke for the patient. And if a patient is joking bravely, then I'm dead. I'll walk to the cemetery to save cost of years. So it is fictitious word because nobody can do it. But he's just cracking the joke. Look at in another practice passage. These are two different situations. Okay? Two people are talking and you have to tell me whether the participants working with the same universe of discourse or different, they are in different universe of discourse. For example, when we are talking to someone, if our friend is sitting lost and thinking about something else, so if we talk to them, they do not respond us in a better manner. Why? Because they are lost somewhere else, they are mentally not present at the place. Okay? So they are actually in some different universe of discourse and we are in different universe of discourse. So we find that no meaningful conversation can happen between the two. Look at this example. There are two characters A and B. Did Jackson come in this morning? I don't know. Jack had a son. Then who's that tall chap that was here yesterday? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Jack hasn't got any kids. I'm sure Jackson was here yesterday. So both of them, both the speakers A and B are in different universe of discourse. Alright? And whatever A is trying to tell to B, B is not having any information about it. And he is telling in his own way that he is having no information. Yeah? So look at the second example. Time traveler from the 18th century. Okay, he's not in 21st century like us. He's a time traveler. Is the king of France on good terms with the Tsar of Russia? 21st century person? And we will say, what? Can we understand what he's saying? We cannot. Why? Because we are in 21st century. So we are in different universe of discourse. Okay, look at third example. An optician, when optician is going to ask the person who is there for eye checkup that read EGDZQNBA. An optician will say correct, well done. They are in the same universe of discourse because whatever optician wanted, patient did the same thing. So both of them are in the same universe of discourse. If you have any question, you can write down and comment and we can discuss and I'll try to reply you. Thank you very much. This is it for today.